Thanks again for rejoining us on the program Road to 2019. Our focus especially for tonight is the outcome of the polls and its implication for 2019, talking about the EKITI state governorship election. I have with me here a former deputy governorship aspirant. I'd like to thank very especially the erudite John Yakubu. Many thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We'll be having Tony Akeni Lemoine, who is a public affairs analyst. He will be joining us live via telephone from Abuja to also make his give his perspectives on that election and what implications it has for the 2019 polls. Now let's start from what I feel is the most prominent issue right now: the contradictory opinions expressed by observers in that election. In some other reports that we heard or we've seen from those who observed the election, the accredited observers, they seem to have commended the election. There was massive turnout, it was flawless and all of that. But these ones that we just read today seems to contradict that. What do you make of this?
When you said accredited observer, are we saying that those who we just saw on television were not accredited? They
were also accredited.
So you have to put that.
Yes, they were also. So both sides were accredited.
Both sides were accredited.
Yes,
and the both have given their report. It is not about the report given by the observers. It is the report we all saw. You see, but let me say here that if we, as black people, are not ready to live as civilized human beings, in all honesty, let's go back to the forest. If we are, as black people, we are not ready to live as civilized people like other persons are doing, let the black man go back to the forest. Because what we are doing here now, the kind of democracy we are practicing, that is not the democracy that was introduced to us. And let me tell you this, it is only in the black race that you set a 100-meter race for two persons. While holding on to one, you allow the other one to go free. And when he gets to the end of the tape, you start congratulating him. Oh, congratulations that you have won. And who are the people doing this? The elites. And I want to say this without any apology, that even the press, the media, is at war with Nigerians. That is the war. The media is at war, fighting a bitter war with Nigerians.
The media.
The media.
How can you substantiate
that? The media.
Yeah.
Because all that transpired in EKITI, I'm not here talking about whether APC now or PDP. All that transpired in EKITI, if not for the use of social media, honestly, and BBC that reported the trading of votes right at the voting center.
Okay.
There was no media house that showed us that. No media house, not the television station in Nigeria.
Is it not possible they didn't have access to such clips?
Look at when. Look.
No, I'm asking the question. Is it not possible?
Let's be very factual.
Okay.
Let's discuss that. Like I said, let me say it in pidgin. If we're not ready to live like others they live, so that everybody will understand that, let the black man go back to the forest. That is that because we are just pretending to be civilized, whereas we are actually not civilized. Let me come back to the press. When Fireman wanted to vote, when Fireman moved to the voting center, what we saw on social media, the kind of campaign, the kind of crowd, they disrupted everything. No television station showed us that outside BBC and other social media. So the Nigeria press, I keep saying it, I've said it here repeatedly, that the kind of media coverage we have today, if we had that one during Babangida, the man would have ruled forever. So what we have now is bread and butter reporters and media houses. And that cannot help this nation. So we must first of all look at, by today now, 1 week after the EKITI election, what are we seeing on television? Oh, that the observers came, one side is saying it was well done, the other side is saying it was done. What is your own report? Your television station was there. What did they see?
We were not there because we were not accredited.
Okay, no.
As a TV station, we were not there.
Not even about channels was there.
Yes.
What did the analysis? What did channels?
So you talk about those stations that were there that covered the election. Hold on. Let me just take.
Hold on.
Okay, let me allow you.
Hold on, Sonny.
Okay, I'm listening.
I am first of all putting the battle to you.
Yes, I'm listening.
The estate of the realm. That is supposed to be the eye of the people is against the people of this country.
Okay.
That is what they are at war with us. And that war, we have to fight it and win. Like I said, I keep saying, on programs like this, that if we have what we are having today during the time of Babangida, the man would have ruled forever. Okay. So let's come to the issue of the election and the report we got from this.
Okay, now just before you go to the election, the report from both sides.
Yes.
When you say the media,
yes,
you are being generalistic. Just hold on, which means you are not being fair.
Yes.
I will say you are not being fair because let me take your mind back.
Okay.
Let me take your mind back.
Good.
I remember you participated in a local government election.
Yes.
Where there were some irregularities, particularly with your local government.
Yes.
ITV as a station gave that election cover. In fact,
good.
That was the only platform.
Let me tell you,
that was the only platform people knew.
ITV did wrong.
Yeah, people knew what happened in that election. In the EKITI election, we have to restrict it to those media stations who were there.
I'm happy that you're taking me back to that election.
Yes.
ITV, channels, AIT, they were all there.
Yes.
Why
they didn't cover you?
Hold on. Listen, Sonny. Okay. So I said the media is at war with the people. And I'll keep emphasizing it. Because if you don't rescue yourself from what you have put yourself, then the problem will continue.
But you have to qualify it properly. When you say the media, that's a generalistic term.
Look, I want to go back to where you just mentioned.
Yes.
We were at Uromi even with the commissioner of police. Why ITV was reporting the result in Benin.
Yes.
They came to me. All the media houses, AIT, John Yakubu. While we are here, the result is being announced in Benin. What is your opinion?
Yes.
My
so are you saying that? Are you saying that?
Were you supposed to ask me that when your reporter was right there with me in Uromi and another thing was being reported in Benin?
Hold on. If the result was being, it wasn't ITV who was announcing the results. ITV was also invited.
For us, that is news. So are you saying we should have announced it? No, then you are not supposed to begin to question me to say, how do you feel? You are supposed to get the report of the man of ground to tell you so that you can counter what the man was reporting.
Wasn't that reported?
That was not reported.
It was reported.
It was. You can go back to your archive.
I have them. We have them in the archive. It was so reported.
Sonny,
sometimes
we must look at the media.
Yes.
If you refuse to play your role,
we are doing our role.
I told you that the trading of votes as reported by this
and then I said you
no media house
then I said you must qualify it properly. You qualify it properly by specifying the stations that were there. We were not there. We didn't cover that election.
Look, that you didn't cover the election. You could have as well borrowed that from your sister station.
If we borrow from our sister station, you see you are double speaking. Hold on. You said all the media stations didn't report. Hold on. They didn't report what transpired with vote buying and stuff like that. In one piece, you are telling us that we could have gotten
if the media houses that were there, channels, AIT, and the only media outfit we got it from was the BBC.
Yes.
Even that was not repeated by the local television.
Yes.
Otherwise, while we're watching it was from the international medicine and the social media.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that the media is at war with Nigeria.
It's not the media that is at war with Nigeria.
You don't allow me to finish that. You don't allow me to qualify that.
I'm listening to you.
You allow me to qualify that.
I'm listening to you.
And you brought in the issue of Eastern Northeast local government election. I was there with including the commissioner of police. We were dumbfounded and we saw the election being released. Instead of AIT channels and others that were there to say, look, the election that is being read out now in ITV, it is not the true state because we are here. We have the returning officers, the commissioner of police is here, the returning officer have absconded. We don't know when they started asking me questions. So what were they expecting me to tell them? Then that is apart.
Okay.
Then let's go back to the issue of shamelessness has been displayed by Nigerians
at the EKITI election.
Good. Who were the people that perpetrated that? Educated, illiterate in Nigeria. Now those who colonized us for God's sake did not treat us the way black men, our people are treating us now. Those who colonized us took the political sphere and took the political aspect of it, but for the social aspect and the economic aspect, they came willingly to develop it. We didn't ask for road when they gave us road. We didn't ask for hospital when our colonial master gave us hospital. We didn't ask for school when they gave us school. But what do we have now? Men will sit down, educated illiterates will sit down, like I said at the beginning, set a 100 meter race for 2 persons, hold on to one with military, police and others, and expect the other one to bet and now be congratulating him. Where do we go from there? So the road to 2019, in short, I'm afraid whether we'll get to 2019, because where we are now, the issue of both, like I watched a senator on channels yesterday, I'm sure you also did watch him, when they asked him, oh, your party bought vote, you know what he said? He said, yes, that a day or two to the election, we heard that PDP led by the Fayose governor was paying 4,000. That was about, they were making photocopies. So what do you expect us to do? You wanted us to just fold our hands and not pay for vote? That was the response of a senator, shamelessly, on a television, telling Nigerians that actually we pay for the vote. And a body is reporting that will happen. Nobody is saying anything about it. So what we must do, if we must get to 2019, is that the people honestly must rescue themselves from the slavery as perpetrated by our leaders.
Okay, now I'm glad you used the word, you anchored it with slavery perpetrated by our leaders. In a sense, in a way, you have completely exonerated the political class, the politicians, from where we are right now. Now, where we are today didn't just start yesterday. It's been a process. It's just that what we are seeing now is that when new leaders emerge, they probably perfect what has already been on the ground. What, in your opinion, would you say are the foundations set by your party, for example, that rule for close to 16 years before we have this new dispensation coming, in terms of foundation?
Well, for the fact that we don't have another person from
just structure.
It is definitely going to be too difficult for me to put these things down now. But don't forget that the era of PDP, we're gradually moving from the era of Togri, the era of do or die politics, to the era of giving a free, fair, and credible election to the people. That was why before the final result was announced in 2015, Jonathan, the then president of the nation, took his phone and pulled out a call across to the president-elect then and said, look, congratulations, I think you've won. That is that was where we are when PDP gave out power to APC. I don't want to go there, because if going there now, I will not have there is no opportunity for any other person there to begin to look at that, so that we can objectively assess that. But where we
but that's now, he played itself out in the EKITI election.
No,
he played itself out. That tradition of vote buying still played itself out in the EKITI election. Even you said it a while ago. That somebody in a senator in the national television.
Yes, you wanted me to relate the era at the point.
What I'm saying is that the tradition which your party started with in votes buying was also perpetuated in the EKITI election.
You have to be very careful about thinking about vote buying. In 2009, in 1999, there was no issue of vote buying in Nigeria. In 2003, even during Obasanjo, there was nothing like vote buying. So the issue of vote buying is gradually and forcibly being introduced by the ruling party right now. It started in Edo State. It started openly in the Edo State election, mine own election, where people paid 5,000. You still can get it today. Pay 5,000 to be elected per vote. So what we are saying now is this.
Okay, just hold on for a moment. John, I'll bring you on. I've got Tony Akeni joining us live from Abuja. Tony, thank you for joining us on Road to 2019. Tony, you need to turn down the audio level on your TV set so you can follow the program clean and clear, so to speak. Yes, good evening, Tony. Thank you for joining us on Road to 2019.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the conduct of that election, and then, of course, some of the fallouts?
Express my gratitude to your crew.
Okay.
And let me also use this opportunity to greet the compatriot who is with you, the former PDP deputy governorship candidate.
Okay.
A very vocal and toughy in the field, as we all know. But you see, let me start with this. You say that in Europe, they say if you sow to the can domesticate that saying within the Nigerian political context. If you sow to the wind in Nigeria, you reap a tornado. What happened in EKITI is just the other side of a coin of what happened in 2014. Don't forget, and please help me to make our compatriot there. Remember that what is complaining about now, PDP sold it in our political culture. Once upon a time, a PDP president said, this election is going to be a do-or-die affair. As despicable as that, we thought that it was just a solo crime by one man. But remember, less than 2 months ago, Ibrahim Mantu came in public view to acknowledge that elections that were conducted in the past, a lot of unconstitutional means were employed by PDP. So for me to hear our citizen, compatriot here, complaining bitterly that the black man should find a space back in the forest is highly laughable. But again, I don't want to speak like a politician. Let me speak as a patriot and a statesman that I prefer to be. The fact that PDP has started us on a very wrong and violent course since 1999 does not justify any thinking that we should continue this way. Because in the final analysis, if we mess up this country, we will suffer together, we will drown together, we have no other place to be, especially those of us who are biparentally Nigerians. Having said that, as we look onto the horizons for 2019 elections, it is my well-considered view, out of good conscience. Yes. Hello?
Yes, Tony, we are with you. We are with you. Hello,
yes,
Tony.
As we look on to 2019, there is need for us all as Nigerians to do a rethink of where we are going.
Okay.
Because if we continue like this, we are going exactly nowhere.
Okay, Tony, I'll just crave your indulgence to stay on the line for some few minutes. Hello, Tony.
Yes,
just stay on the line. Let me bring John in here. John, because I'm sure you heard what he said. That your party sowed the seed.
I listened to him completely.
Okay.
By its last statement, that when we continue like this,
yes,
we go nowhere. And that was why I said at the beginning that if we want to continue to live like this, the forest is the destination. That is his last.
But I'm sure the point he was making is that you're not taking responsibility that your party set these bad precedents in the country.
I don't want to take responsibility because he did mention that Obasanjo, one man who said do or die, he thought that this thing will die with him.
Okay.
But if we now want to take it back to the one man who is now the national chairman of APC, who in Edo State, not to every Edo person, while election was being conducted, was announcing result in Benin City. It's also a dangerous precedent set by that same person who today is dictating for a national party like APC. Today he called himself a Democrat. Whereas every Edo knows, including those who watched that election. You brought that down. That's why I'm using it as an example.
Yeah.
So when we move from there to where we are, don't forget that Obasanjo gave power to Yaradua, and when Yaradua came in, he said, look, we must correct this evil of making sure that you rig election before you win, and that was given to Jonathan. So we must not keep referring back to 8 or 10 years ago because Obasanjo mentioned a do-or. And let me say here so that my friend can listen to that. Every person that took part in that do-or-die affair, including Obasanjo himself, have moved to the other side. So you can see that they are concentrated there. And they want to overrun Nigeria illegally. So we must not allow that to happen. Every person that, including Matu, who after crossing to the other side now started confessing, he would have by now begin to treat them what he did in PDP. They have all left us. All we have today is a clean state. So if they have all moved to the other side, mention all of them. Everybody in APC today that played that role in EKITI all moved away from PDP to where they are now, and they are perpetrating that. But we must understand that we have to rescue, like he said, we have no other nation.
Absolutely.
But if we refuse to rescue Nigeria from these people, from these perpetrators, we have no other place to go to.
Okay.
And let me tell you, without a free, fair, and credible election, development will elude this nation. Because when you have a free, fair, and credible election, then individual will now begin to say, look, if I don't do well, people will vote against me the next time. But what we have now is that buying and selling of vote. And when you have paid 10,000, don't forget that the person paying for it will need a profit for your 10,000.
Oh, sure.
If not the 10,000 more than the 10,000 they pay to you. So where we are is that APC on their own, if they listen to what Obasanjo said, oh, maybe that was why they went to him in 2015 to beg him to lead them. If you remember, led by Asiwaju Tinubu, they went to Obasanjo in Otafa and said, please, come and be our compass. Okay. I'm sure that's what they took from him, and that is what they are doing now. But Nigerians, we must be free from the shackle of these oppressors.
Okay. Let me pause it there. Let's bring up to speed. Tony Akeni is joining us live from Abuja via telephone. Tony, thanks again for staying with us on Road to 2019. I'd like to get your final thoughts before we let you go in terms of the implications for what transpired in the EKITI election for 2019 polls, against the background that we've seen contradictory observers report for that election, allegations of massive votes buying on both sides of the divide. This seems to be a tradition that is being established in our political setting. Can I quickly get your thoughts along this line, Tony? Hello, Tony. Just turn down your TV so you can hear me, or we can hear you better. Turn down the audio level on your TV.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, yes, go ahead, Tony.
This is my take on that.
Yeah.
In the same way the media industry has evolved into the fourth, or has acquired the reputation of being the fourth arm of government, so also civil society, which comprises NGOs and these observer groups, for me, they are today's veritable fifth arm of government. Because government anywhere in any democracy now cannot do without these observers and these civil society groups. So what is coming out of their observations should not be taken for granted. It should not be dismissed. Remember, my brother, that when President Buhari came to power, even while he was campaigning, he campaigned on a particular moral tripod, that things were not going to be the way they have been in the past, that there was going to be rule of law, laws were going to be respected, and we expect that even though PDP has fouled up in the past, there will be a distinct difference. The difference is very blunt right now. When Yar'Adua was the president of this country, when he came to power, he was humble and honest enough to admit that the election that brought him to the villa, to the presidency, was flawed. And he took very visible and critical steps to correct that by initiating very important amendments in the Electoral Act. This is what we are expecting going forward. The views of these observers who were there, it is not possible that all of them would have been bribed, because if you listen to their language, they have not spoken in favor of one party or the other. What they have said is that, like I heard, like I have seen, like I have monitored, 90% of them are saying that the two parties erred and breached the laws of the land. So it is wrong for anyone to dismiss them, accuse them that they have not done a good job. They have done a very because their verdicts have been very, how do I put it? Their verdicts have been very objective as far as the EKITI election is concerned. On another note, let me let every PDP enthusiast understand that I, Ofanyoche, sow the seed of the failure, sow the seeds of the defeat, the humiliation kind of democracy to the polity there. And from what we have seen, that democracy could not sustain PDP in that place. What I expect any statesman in the household of PDP to do is to do a postmortem, a very honest postmortem, both in EKITI as well as River State and Delta State. What are we doing wrong here? If you critically analyze all the things that surround this election, IFI should virtually dismiss everybody as a non-entity, including the key members of his political party. And so a lot of these people defected at critical times to the APC.
Tony, when you make some of the things you're saying now, it will be difficult for you to substantiate them live on this program. What with the fact that IFI is not live on this program? I think we should just go ahead to look at some of the things that we can easily, articulate and authenticate and substantiate for us to put this program into proper perspectives. Yeah.
Even the gentleman with you there understands that very important figures of PDP left, some long before the elections and some on the eve of the election.
Okay.
And all these were strengths that were minors that were removed from the PDP formation and their troops on ground. That cannot be denied.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Tony Akeni. We truly appreciate your contributions on Road to 2019 on ITV Satellite. Thank you. Well, that has been Tony Akeni joining us live from Abuja. He's a civil society activist and political analyst. Yeah, John.
No, I'm really surprised. I like Tony's contribution.
Okay.
But what I want to say here is that when we are supposed to be civilized. In analyzing politics, that is why it is 4-year duration. Mm-hmm. So that when people say, oh, this was what was done 5 years ago. So whether you like it or not, you did badly 5 years ago. Now we will not want to listen. Don't allow people to listen to you. No, that is why it is democracy. If what we are supposed to look at, it is the 4-year tenure that was given to this present administration. How far have they used it? Okay. So that is why in developed society like United States and other developed democracy, what you have is that the conservative can be in power for 4 years. The next 4 years it is the Democrats that are there. Yeah. Another 4 years it is the conservative that will come back. Not because the conservative or the Democrats are not doing well, but when you come out to sell yourself, like he mentioned, when Yaradua came, yes, he made some changes to show that we are not supposed to continue on the road of perdition. Okay. But when Nigerians voted for this change, and what we are seeing now is different from what we saw even when PDP was there. I mean, that is the crowd.
Okay, let me just.
So what we are saying is this: if we must behave as civilized people, like he mentioned, it was Fayose who did that 4 years ago. Are you saying that we should continue to move on that path? Then where is the development and the civilization that we claim that we have? It means we are still behaving as uncivilized people. That's why I say that let me tell you this, Sonny, apart from creating problem for the black race is exporting problem to the developed world. No, that is correct. Apart from creating its own problem, we are exporting problem to the developed world. So if we are not ready to live as civilized people, the forest is still there. Okay. So that we hold our peace and others and still begin to live the way we used to live.
All right. If you just join us, it's Road to 2019 on ITV Satellite, channel 107 Go TV, channel 130 on Star Times. You can also follow the program live on our website at www.itvradionnigeria.com. The conversation continues on YouTube, where you can view the video and then, of course, post a comment there. Now, the task and responsibility of taking Nigeria to the next level, of moving Nigeria forward, behoves on all Nigerians. But it looks like each time the opportunity presents itself for us to demonstrate that there is a feeling on the part of the people, on the part of the electorate. I don't know what you make of this as a major challenge in this direction.
The failing is 90% of the part of the electorate. To be honest with you, the leadership of this country is less than 2% of the total population of this country. We are not ready to take the bull by the horn. Take, for example, EKITI that just passed. 99% of those who voted in EKITI got money rather than contributing to the process. So the few persons that roll out the money that was spent in EKITI are the persons that will decide what happened in EKITI. The electorate are not really, honestly speaking. I'll just tell you a small quick story before I continue on this line. In 2013, when I was contesting, in 2007, when I contested to be chairman of Esa Northeast local government, I met Saturday Okosu, who was then the candidate of AC under Adam Oshomole. I said, look, Saturday, we are both from Uromi. I have no money to spend for this election in Uromi. I plead with you, let's come together and develop this place. Because of that, Saturday Okosu withdrew. I'm not saying, you can confirm this. And when that happened, during my administration, Saturday Okosu was the supervisory councillor for head. And you go and find out what happened to help for the 2 year 10 months I was there. Then the second coming in 2013 that I had 3 elections, 1, 2, 3. Everything, every kobo I spent for that election, every dime, including the pure water that was used in my house, came from Uromi people. Not from my pocket, came from Uromi people. So they were far prepared and ready to take the bull by the horn. But what you see today is that 99% of the persons who are supposed to vote, who are complaining today, are not ready to contribute either their time, their money, or whatever, because democracy is an expensive venture. Okay. Very, very expensive. You take it from the media perspective. If I come on air to want to show people a burial ceremony and other, I pay about 25,000 or thereabout. But when I mention PDP or a political process, I am made to cover close to 70,000 naira because it is that is how it is all over the world. But that payment, that cost is paid for by the people. We must come out to be part of the process, even if it is 1 naira that we want to use to support, so that when you get there now, you are not building mansions for yourself. The people can say, no, you had a bicycle and we contributed for you to be elected. You cannot do this in our presence. Yeah. But when a man goes to borrow money, send the father's old house in Akpakpava to contest election, and you are expecting him not to replace that house 3 years after his election, then you are joking.
So are you saying that the people have refused to take ownership of the electoral process?
The people have refused to take ownership of the process. They have refused to be part of it. And when they are not part of it, I tell you just now that 90% of those who voted, 90% of those who voted in EKITI, though I was not there, one way or the other, would have collected money. I'm not talking of money for voting and other. Only about 10% would have contributed. It is not done anywhere outside the black race. Democracy is an expensive venture. Sonny, if you like a particular candidate, what you do is that you contribute to that man becoming whatever he's contesting for. But here we sit down. Sonny, I want to tell you, if you have 2-3 million in your account today, then that the process is upcoming, and you go to your ward and say, oh, gentlemen, I want to be a member of the House of Assembly. 2 weeks after, your account will be red. The woman who just got pregnant there will come to you for antenatal care. The man who has not paid school fees. I am telling you the stark reality on ground. So the people are actually not ready. And if we are not ready to play democracy as it is played elsewhere in the world, why are we calling it democracy? Okay, we should target a different thing.
Let's just look at the flip side to this issue.
Yes.
What do you make of the school of thought that the people have become so pauperized by bad policies, bad programs, bad initiatives, to the point that for them, this is just an opportunity for me to get my share of the national cake?
It is our value system, our orientation, the level of complacency. I mentioned at the beginning of the program that those who colonize us, we did not need to. That is the period you hear people say, wake up and see bulldozer, all sorts of names. When we were colonized, they came for the political aspect by making sure that we were colonized. But the economic aspect they did not play with. The social aspect, you wake up then and you discover that the hospital is by your side, because they realize that you needed that hospital to play your own part. But what we do now as a people is that we just wait and say we are poor. In the 60s, we have more poor people than what we think we are getting now. They didn't behave the way we are behaving. People tapped rubber to be able to buy a white bicycle. But what we do now is that when the man is campaigning, you just believe that when the man wins, through him you get to government money. It's not possible. It is our orientation, it is the level of our complacency, and if we are not ready to take the bull by the horn, it will continue. So when you are saying that the people have been popularized, no. It is the policy of the government. If a man comes campaigning to you that he must provide A, B, C, and D, and at the end of the day, he is not providing it, what do you do? You see the people not complaining. The complaint from the people is that, oh, it's not, leaders are not being properly serviced. Leaders are not getting their rightful position. We are not there. It's not doing well. So the people must come out to seize the power from the leaders. They own it. We own the power, not them. But we are not playing our role because we have refused to accept our position. I want to tell you this, like I mentioned just now. What we have, they brought vote for, in Edo State it was for 5,000, now it has graduated to 10,000. Maybe by the next election it will graduate to 15,000. How can you sell your destiny 4 years for 15,000 naira, for 10,000 naira? And at the end of the day, the same persons will come out to begin to complain.
But we're not saying something to those who gave the money.
Look,
we're more or less, tilting towards those who received the money. In this equation, there is a giver and there is a taker.
Hold on.
Yes.
I have been involved in politics for close to 30 years, if not more.
Okay.
You understand? So if I just tell you just now, as bright as you are, as good as you are, go to your ward and tell them that you want to go to House of Assembly. Few weeks after, Sonny come back to report to me your experience. I'm not talking about textbook politics in Nigeria. I'm talking of practical politics in Nigeria. You just go back to your ward, take your car back. If you are able to fly your car back to Benin, that will be luck on your side. Nobody will tell you, oh, Sonny, you've not been here before. We are not sure you will win. Oh, beautiful man. We'll be waiting for you. You will put down drinks and nobody will sow a seed for you to succeed. So what we must do as a people, we must first of all retrieve that. We must first of all take that nonchalant attitude back.
How do we do that? How do we achieve that?
Good. Now, the people must begin to be part of the process. Sonny, if you have a friend who is aspiring to be a member of the House of Assembly, what is your contribution? Let's begin to look at the process here. How did Obama come back to be president of the United States? The least contribution, $10, $5. The Democrats came out and said, look, everybody contributing this $1, we are very sure that they will vote. That was during even his nomination. They said, we are sure they will vote, so we will win the election. That was how that man was brought out. But here, when we are in the office, and we are building mansions we will not live in, we are buying cars that we will not ride, nobody comes to question you. Rather, what they come to tell you is an attempt to get part of it. We are all here. That is why I'm saying that it is only in this part of the world that you set a 100-meter race for 2 people, you hold on to one and allow the other one to go, then the elite who are supposed to be educated elite will go to them and, oh, congratulations, they'll be opening their teeth, congratulations. Haven't realized that process was dubious. But if you go on there to say, oh, the process of electing this man was dubious, oh, if you are strong, why don't you do the same? So we must first of all educate the educated illiterate in Nigeria to come out of their shell. In 1960, you could get water in Edo State. Edo State, Benin City is the only capital in Nigeria where you don't have pipe-borne water for over 15 years, and nobody is saying it.
But you have boreholes taking over. Boreholes are everywhere. Taking over that. People have access to borehole water.
Sonny?
And I heard some time ago there are some regulations, plans for regulation and all of that.
Sonny?
Yeah, I'm just asking the question.
I'm sure they listen to you and me.
I'm asking you a question.
No, you're not asking me. I'm sure they listen to me and you. That even the pipe meant to bring water, succor to the people of Edo State was sold by the same government.
Okay,
and here we are. Nobody saying anything about that.
That's a matter of fact.
No, wait, they sold it.
Yeah.
And those pipes were loaded to another state to give the people water.
Well,
nothing was done, and you expect this thing to continue?
Well, that's a matter for another day. John Yakubu, it's always a delight to have you here on the program. It's been a wonderful time on road to 2019, looking at some of the prevailing issues, which some say will definitely shape the 2019 election, as it were. We'll keep our fingers crossed. But remember, like Tony said, and John Yakubu corroborated a while ago, we have one country that we can call our own, and the name of that country is Nigeria. It's our responsibility to work together for the peace, unity, and stability of the nation. And it's also the responsibility of our leaders to be responsible and live up to the expectations of the people. The security of lives and property is sacrosanct, and it is the responsibility of leadership to ensure we protect lives, protect property. When that happens, then of course we can talk about development. Get your PVC, make sure you clean it every day, shine it, and get ready to do justice with it.
Close to the PVC.
And please ensure you don't collect money. Yeah, collect money, they give you money, chop the money and vote your conscience. But that's difficult now because they give you money, they are watching you closely to see what you're going to do.
It's vote and pay.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's an issue for another day. We'll come back your way again next week, Friday, 6 to 7 on Road to 2019. John, many thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So it's a delight to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
And big thanks to Tony Akeni. You're watching us now from Abuja. I truly appreciate the views and thoughts expressed on the show today. My name is Sonny Duke Okosun. Thank you for staying with. Big thanks to Tony Etim, running the operations to ensure the show is a huge success. Lucky Omorogbe, thank you very much. And David Musa, thank you as well for all your contribution. Bye for now.